nights has been pizza night.
Oh,
And,
okay.
yeah, because Fridays are for pizza, not for any other kind of food form.
Fridays for me are usually either pizza if y'all influence me, or sushi if Fitz influences me, or Indian if I influence myself. Hey, everybody!
Or influencer meat.
Or influencer meat. Influencer meat McSlurry.
Chilled influencer brain.
Welcome.
Sweetest slurry there
The
is.
sweetest meat. Welcome to the Pocket Dimension Live, where today we're going to talk about meat, Daggerheart, DC20. Yay! We're rocking with that music. And Matt, okay, there, you're back now. Welcome to the Pocket Dimension Live. We're four friends talking nerdy to each other, except for today we're three friends.
Three friends.
We miss you, Fitz.
We miss you, Fitz.
Is a three-legged dog still a dog?
I think so.
Yes, actually.
I think so.
In many, many cases, yes.
But does a three-legged dog have a reattachable leg?
Yes.
Tell us in the chat.
Tell us in the chat. If you have thoughts on this, comment below.
You know what this is? This is so a long time ago, way back in 2020. Matt and Evan and I used to go live on Fridays, and we called it the Friday Melee.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like today we're
more
harkening back.
melee-ish.
It's more melee. So welcome to the Friday Melee, presented by the Pocket Dimension Live.
Yeah.
I'm Allison. Which way do we go now? This is
I don't know. Let's go at the same time. 1, 2, 3. I'm Matt.
Wow. Good job.
Wow, you guys.
Yeah. No, I'm Matt, and this is my brother Evan across the way.
Yep.
We're brothers.
Who do we have? Who do we have here? So Jax was, I'm going to call it. Jax was officially first.
Toot toot.
Jax.
Fire Drake
Rice
Mac
combo.
B, Rice combo, Digital Twisted.
Rice combo.
White.
Mike is here with his unsweet tea. Tequila says
Don't do it.
huzzah.
Okay.
Just did
Wait,
it.
who's drinking unsweet tea?
Unsweet tea is not a thing. Unsweet means that
not
it
real.
like has a foul odor of like garbage and sewage. It is unsweetened.
Like a miasma.
Like a
Oh,
miasma.
wait. Oh, so the word unsweet
is incorrect if we are talking about tea.
Oh yeah.
Because what they mean is unsweetened, as in having no sugar in it. We are very
Okay.
serious about this in our Discord.
So serious.
Man, thank you for telling me. So the word unsweet means nasty ass.
Smelling of sewage.
Nice.
Like having a distinct,
I did not know.
unsavory. So when you describe something as unsweet, you were calling it like poo water, not
Yep.
sweet.
Okay. Now there are some, mostly Southerners, who find that unsweetened tea is also known as dirt water.
Sure. And they are welcome to that opinion, even though they are wrong.
Yeah.
I say as a Southerner. Yeah, we're learning all of the important things today on Friday Melee. Dan Freeman is here. Beardy is new here, but D&D always piques my interest. Welcome, Beardy.
Beardy,
You're
why?
weird here, so I hope you'll stay around.
Yeah.
Seth Yu says Andrew Benu. Ryan says DC20 is better than anything else. That's one of the things we're going to talk about today.
Yes.
Do we feel the same way?
Are we going to have a physical fight?
Ooh.
Kai's here. Stitch
We're
and
not.
Whimsy is here.
Roll for
Charles
initiative.
DeBoer is here with coffee. Did you bring some for me? Matt? Oh no, Matt has water.
I have water.
Um,
Sorry.
Drew is here.
Ah.
Dribbles. Welcome everybody. We're so glad that
Yeah.
you're here.
We're so excited that you're here.
Very
I'm
excited
especially
that you're
excited
here.
because I've been ill
yeah.
with the crew pahab. So I feel that kind of that kind of euphoria you only feel when you've been in bed for a week.
Yeah.
Welcome to your upright and locked position. We are so happy to see your darling face.
Yeah.
We have missed you. I wonder, since Drew is here, no, Fitz is out and about doing things. Okay, fine. Daniel says I'm slightly here, and then amended that to say I like that, very slightly here. I thought that just meant you were going to be like floating in and out, but instead you meant to say slightly late.
Sounds like my daily experience.
Life experience.
Yeah,
slightly here.
Yeah,
slightly here.
So here's how today's gonna go. We're gonna talk mostly about Daggerheart and DC20, and then Evan has like a big fun thing to drop on us. And also live on the show last week, 1 week ago, we hit 1,000 subscribers on our quaint little YouTube channel. So we're now doing a giveaway for all of our Discord members. And so we're going to do that drawing later in the show today to see who wins a year of Beacon on us.
A year of Hello Beacon.
On Beacon.
That's a pretty sick gift.
Yeah.
A year of Hello Beacon.
I did remove mine and Evan and Matt and Fitz's names, and also Matt's wife's names from the drawing. I felt like it was fair to do. I also removed our bots because, sometimes bots bully people in Discord, like Galaxy Fox, so they're kicked out of the drawing as well.
Aww.
Seth says, give it to me hot and unsweetened as well. I hope you're still talking about tea.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave that there.
Hot and unsweet.
Ugh. Unsweet tea. Meeg does not get a Beacon sub. It needs tacos and a hug, not a Beacon sub. Meeg is so mean, you guys. Matt, I saw you had some notes for today.
I have some.
You have some thoughts. I wanna just why don't you get us started?
Okay.
And by the way, so we're gonna share, these opinions are our own. They are not representative of the Pocket Dimension. We love the creators.
Wait, what?
Yeah, everything that we say here represents ourselves. We don't represent the Pocket Dimension.
We don't represent the Pocket Dimension. Today we're taking the legalese out of here. We're speaking as ourselves, as individual people. Ooh, Maddie, don't die.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
And we welcome you sharing your opinion in the chat.
Yes.
That was why we invited you here and decided to have this conversation on TPDL/Friday Melee instead of behind closed doors, because we want to hear your opinionated things too.
Because we have so many opinions, and I will say this because I have been trolling the internet. No, I'm kidding. I have not been trolling the internet, but I have been chiming in on some of the amazing reviews, thoughts, videos from creators that I respect and watch about DC20 in particular for the last couple of weeks. But before that, Daggerheart, and I love that we know what we're talking about because we have actually played these games and we've played them publicly. So all of our failures have been very upfront,
very documented,
and very documented. We hope that they have helped you in some small way. If you're still here and watching this, that you have learned more about these. I'm just going to go ahead and say I do have strong thoughts, but these two particularly incredible games. I went into this huge, not even a rant this morning in our Discord server, but just because we're getting into D&D season, right? We're getting into D&D. We knew it was coming. We're starting to hear about what the player's handbook is about and the game DM's guide and so on and so forth, and the changes and whether it's going to be 5.5 or 6. It's not. But is that okay? What are the feelings? And I just kind of had a nice discussion this morning with Hecate about
Kate.
Hi,
Kate. About just the amazing thing about these games, Daggerheart and DC20, Shadow Dark, everything. It's not just about the OGL. It's not just about the OGL drama that happened, now a long time ago. It is also about the reaction to 5E, 4E, 3.5, 3.2 mechanics. Okay. It's about an archaic system that people will argue the biggest change, real change was probably fourth edition, right? I am moving in a totally different direction, and it didn't really work then. And so they came back a little bit with 5e, which is a beautiful system. It really is. But my point in the discussion was, it has been 10 years. And in 10 years, Wizards, even with all the rockiness that they've experienced in the last year and year and a half, they could have been innovating. They could have tarnished the name politically, but then been dreaming up the game that was going to keep D&D on top of being the Kleenex of TTRPGs, right? Like I like to say every single day. They could have been doing that, but they didn't. They're not. I mean, it's too early to tell, of course, but unless it is 6e, these are things. So Dungeon Coach and Darrington Press, Critical Role, are building these games as reactions. They do want to build D&D 6th edition. They do want to have a D&D killer, which is pure clickbait, but they want to have it. I know that Alan, the Dungeon Coach, he was a home brewer. He wanted to fix parts of 5e, the only game in the book, really. He wanted to fix it so that he enjoyed it more. And so he did.
Well,
he is.
So I'm gonna highlight this comment here while you were talking. That Daniel says the OGL drama probably helped get eyes on these alternate games, but they have to be good to keep the eyes. Agree with both parts of the statement. And Alan, the Dungeon Coach, was vocal, like in all of the streams where he has kind of talked about his trajectory and how did we get here from this idea and all of this content that was fixing 5e to I've rolled out now a $1.6+ million Kickstarter was a reaction to the OGL, because he went, as a creator, all of my rights could be taken away. So I have to be smart about my investment of time and what I want to do for a living. So I guess I have no choice but to create my own game. And thankfully it's a rad game that us and a bunch of, now thousands of people out there have also had fun playing and want to play more of. Well, not millions of people, millions of dollars going into
millions
it.
Of dollars,
Yeah. 1.6 mil and growing. So like that's, and I mean, I've not talked to anybody from Darrington personally yet. Give us a minute. But I'm assuming that Daggerheart was the same thing. It was a reaction to, and we're grateful for it. We love the punk rock revolution going on.
Yeah, exactly. For us to have wanted as burgeoning baby creators ourselves, for us to have wanted to even play these games, which I will remind you a billion times starting now, these are beta and alpha games.
Yeah.
These are games that are not even finished.
Yep.
So I do want you to keep in mind whenever you're out in the world fanboying for it, fan personing for any game
trash pandaing.
Yeah. Any game that you've chosen, please keep in mind that if you're going to, I haven't seen any of Alan's crew actually get into a discussion in a untoward way defending DC20 or the Daggerheart people either. But understand that these games are not done, period. So they could change immensely, as Daniel said, they could change immensely, and they could change to the point where we don't like them anymore. And they could get, they could, why not? I mean, they could get to that point. There's a lot of room, especially in DC20, almost $2 million worth of room for that game to change completely, right? Yeah. So, just keep that in mind whenever you're defending the games that like people who are saying things like this game is not ready for prime time. This game is confusing. Yeah. They're not actually wrong. No. I don't believe that they're wrong. No. I have read these documents, and both of these rules, but especially the alpha, which is DC20, has a ton of holes in it. It really does. And it has a lot of rules that have obviously been going back and forth and back and forth. You can attack me personally, but I have been there and I've read it and I've played it. Yep. So do be cool and do that, because we're going to be doing the same.
Yeah.
That being said, I have amazing notes, and you'll just have to tell me where to start or.
So, I mean, we can go about this a couple of different ways. We can either like spend some time and let's just talk about Daggerheart, what we like, what we don't, rinse and repeat for DC20, or we can kind of go head to head with each of them and be like, these are all the things we love about Daggerheart. These are all the things we love about DC20. These are the plot holes.
I've got both. I've got bits on both for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just
What
start.
do you think, Biv?
Yeah.
Where should we? I mean,
Yeah, where should we start?
Why are you putting me in the hot seat?
Okay, I'll just go ahead and you want to start with Daggerheart, AK?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Daggerheart is a beta game. It is a beta game, which again means it's not out yet. It's going to take at least a year. So the notes that I took on Daggerheart after playing it a number of times, now GMing it and being a player, which is a rarity for me, it feels like a more solid game. Just out of the box, it feels more solid. I think it's easier for new players to grasp. Though Evan has some comments about that because you played with a brand new player.
Yeah.
It is more robust. Now, again, it's a beta over an alpha. Two, the people who built it are not having to crowdsource it.
Yep.
They don't have to do that. They have millions of dollars. So they can just hold away and spend all day doing that, where, Alan had to quit his freaking job to do this by hand.
Yeah.
So again, always understand I'm saying these things out of love and just pure thing. But it's got incredible onboarding. The best character onboarding I've ever seen. Truly revolutionary character building. The relationship building is fantastic. The freedom and ease of creating your dream ancestry or class, I just have never seen that. I have not seen that yet. And that is the best example I've seen is my brother Evan, who built a clank that was not a part of Critical Role's milieu or any milieu. I mean, you took the concept of a construct and just ran, and that you can definitely easily do.
Yeah.
Right now in Daggerheart, I'm not saying you can't do it in DC20, but those rules are still formulating. They're still solidifying. So in my mind, it's a little harder to do.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about nice things about Daggerheart then? Other nice things you have? I've got a few.
Yeah, other niceties about, and I will agree with all of that. Part of me wonders, because we've talked about like who is each system good for, right? And I think that any TTRPG is going to be a lift for a brand newbie. I mean, y'all remember me in my first few months of D&D. There was a lot of hand-holding. There was a lot of, I don't understand. And I mean, unfortunately, I don't know that there's ever going to be a silver bullet where it's like you're just going to dump somebody. There's always, and that's okay. It depends on the table. It depends on who they're playing with. I will say for me personally, my playing style, Daggerheart, is significantly more fulfilling. There was much less of a lift for me to understand both as stepping in first as a GM and then finally getting to play it myself. Whereas I feel like the density, the crunchiness, the thickness of DC20 felt more prohibitive to me. So we're talking about the things that we like more in Daggerheart so far. The rules light, the rule of cool running. I mean, that is the biggest thing that is said all throughout the Daggerheart, played materials is follow the fiction, follow the fun, do whatever your players want to do. Yes, and everything. And I don't see that in a ton of other systems.
Right.
And I think to the point that you're starting to try to get into, Matt, like all of the connections, the experiences have been, it's just so much fun to the point where I'm now in games like Rice Combos in here. And like we use the connection questions in our 5e campaign kickoff. So the fact that Daggerheart is already lending aspects of itself to other games, I think is so massive. And at the end of the day is all like, we're all going to homebrew stuff.
We are now. We are now. Yeah. If there's not a 6e from D&D, I'm going to be homebrewing. And that is actually, let me go ahead and say, that is my takeaway from both of these beautiful games, is that they have both, in their own way, forever changed the way I want to run Dungeons & Dragons 5e right now. So
But that's also how you found DC20 or the Dungeon Coach in the first place, was all of the things that you hated about 5e, Matt. You were out there Googling, like, how do I fix this?
And every single one. He would just, every single one, Alan was there for me. Every one. So, yes, of course, he's going to build a game like that.
All right, so I've just learned in the chat that Evan's not actually listening to us because he's listening to the Count sing about purple.
I'm trying. I was. I'm listening to you now. But
so do you have anything to add, Evan? We are talking about why Friday the 13th. No, I'm just kidding.
I feel like that kid who gets busted in class.
Evan, what are your thoughts on everything Matt and I have just said?
I'm going to take away your Walkman.
Oh, no, shots fired.
Oh, I was actually listening to you guys.
I know.
But I did want to listen to the Count singing.
Obviously,
the start wearing purple. I'll watch that later. Can't.
Meg says, I just realized homebrewer doesn't refer to beer. Not when we're saying it typically.
But when we play with you, we'll both homebrew and homebrew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out of our bathtub.
Homebrew some gluten-free beer out of our bathtub and play. Oh. Yep. You're the one that said it. Oh, that was for the gluten-free, not the bathtub. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, bathtub's fine. Gluten-free, no way.
Wow.
Ouch.
Damn, Gina.
Yeah. You know what? My overall take is I want to smash. There's aspects of both games that I want to kind of smash together.
Yeah.
DC20 is a little more rules light than I typically like.
Daggerheart or DC20?
Oh, sorry. What did I say? DC20? Daggerheart.
Yeah.
Daggerheart is what I meant. I mean, although in playing it, it didn't feel, overly rules light in the way that some other games like Masks or, Powered by the Apocalypse games where it's just even Blades of the Dark. It's very loosey goosey. Although there's plenty of rules around that too. Procedure. And yet there's something, I guess it's part of like the way my brain is wired. I do like structure and I thrive in structure. I love symmetry. And I think because of those reasons, there's something about DC20 that I really appreciate. I would just say, as a new player, I mean, agreed on everything you guys said. As an entry point for new players, it can be intimidating. Though, like you said, Daggerheart for my wife was super intimidating because she just didn't. It was too amorphous, right? So, like, I want the Goldilocks level of structure.
Yeah.
And the thing that I kept, as we were kind of hurrying to get our combat encounter together last week, the thing that I noticed was like, okay, I've got, as if you're playing a martial class in DC20, you've got a humongous list of stuff that you can do. So it almost starts to border on like Magic the Gathering level of like memorization. And I don't play Magic, so maybe I shouldn't make this analogy. But the one time that someone tried to teach me to play it, I realized like, oh, wait a minute. I have to I've got this deck full of cards and I've got to memorize all this stuff. Holy crap. So, you have to remember to parry. You have to remember that parrying is a possibility.
We will never remember to parry. That ship
I did. I remembered to parry.
Live. You did live.
So anyway, I mean, I know that you'll get used to that as you kind of, in the same way that you onboard with D&D, 5e or any edition, like you get used to it and it becomes the more you play it, the better you get at it. So that is also true for DC20. But I've been trying to think, like in not using Daggerheart so much, but as we can make the comparison there too. But in 5e, you get feats every few levels, right? You get special things that your class can do, and that you look forward to. And I'm assuming that happens, of course, in DC20 as well. But you also have a lot of prescribed stuff that you can do, and so it's like there's moments where I just want to use my imagination and have my character, I want to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump off the table and do a flip. And then that's how I'm going to, land on the baddie's head. And that's how I'm going to defend my friend or whatever, rather than telling me how I can or can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want that Goldilocks zone of not so much
Just
freedom that I'm
right.
a little bit out to sea, but not so prescribed that I feel like I have a ton to memorize and that I feel like this is all I can do.
Yeah.
Which is my only real criticism of DC20, because I feel like Alan has done an amazing job of constructing it to support the storytelling, and that seems like that's been at the core of what he's been doing this whole time, is not to have crunched for the sake of, because he thinks crunchiness is fun, but trying to help support that.
Yeah.
One thing that I miss in both games is there's just a satisfaction that I get with doing tons of damage. Like you get to roll your dice and you do a crap load of damage. It's just, there's a satisfaction there that's missing from both games.
Yeah.
For me. And it's particularly, I fully support the, how Alan has gotten it so that your high rolls matter.
Yeah.
But I don't want my damage to be, again, prescribed to me.
Yeah.
I've thought of ways that you could homebrew a different damage version of that, but it gets even crunchier. So I don't know. One last thought.
Yeah.
Overall, I just want to say how amazing both these games are, considering they're in beta and alpha.
Yeah.
And extra props to Alan, who's been doing this pretty much on his own with his community on a shoestring budget up until now, versus Critical Role, who I'm guessing has a whole lot of resources, right? They've got a team and they've got tons of cash. Yeah. So, it's no wonder that they are in beta now, as opposed to, being an alpha or wherever, that they're moving things along quicker. And both of that is just really, really freaking cool. I don't know that anyone expected games of this quality to surface the way they have.
A year in.
No. A year in. Exactly.
No.
Exactly. Yeah.
What were you saying, AK?
Well, so that you kind of started to, with that, the missing the satisfaction of like, roll to hit, yes, it's a crit or whatever it is, and then I roll my damage dice. That's actually one thing in Daggerheart I do think still needs some work, is the up-leveling scalability. So last week we played level 5 one-shot Daggerheart with our patrons. Tomorrow I'm starting a Daggerheart campaign with Rice Combo. And Digital Twisted and I were building my character this week. I've gone Rogue, I've gone Syndicate, because it's not your normal Rogue, which is I forget what the other one's called. I'm so sorry. As far as the two choices
Nasty
of kind of like
rogue.
your rogue archetypes, right? But I noticed that we're coming into the campaign at level 5, and in Daggerheart, sneak attack doesn't scale up. Right. So like in 5e, I'm so used to like at certain thresholds you get to add more. We're level 5 and I'm 1d6 sneak attack, and I understand, like we went back and read why exactly that is, and I understand logically.
What's the why?
I don't remember. Digital Twisted, tell him. I think it has to do with the scaling of the monsters as well. So we can't just have like the characters getting so far out by level 5 that we have to then create these monsters that can scale in the same way. Forgive me if I explain that badly. But like, I'm not a logical person. I don't play. I know this is a very big surprise for anybody watching this stream, especially for Matt and Evan. I don't play by logic. I don't understand any of it. So
you play with your heart.
I play with my heart. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Here we go, everybody. Just do some hearts. There they go. So yeah, DT says AK is correct. I felt it didn't need to scale up as it works better in balance with the enemies. I don't care about the enemies. I care about me and rolling a bunch of shiny math rocks. And so that was kind of like one ding on Daggerheart. And that, I mean, I will say that Darrington Press in the last couple of releases has issued a call for please play this at high levels. Please break the game. That also, by the way, is one thing that I love about both Daggerheart and DC20 is that they are both actively inviting you to break the game. That's what alpha, beta, and until it is in print and shipped off to us is for. And I love that spirit of, especially watching like when Spencer and Matt go live for Darrington Critical Role, they're so humble about like taking in all of the feedback and the thing. They're like, all right, this is what we're trying. Okay, that didn't work. We're going to take that back here, but this did work. So we're going to keep it. And just like letting us
classic
all
crit
see,
roll style though. They're classy. classy folks.
Yeah. So that was my kind of yes and on Evans. Like I miss the big damage rolls.
Yeah.
I like the way you put it, that I don't want my damage to be prescribed to me. I want to experience it.
Yeah. The other couple of things about Daggerheart that are mostly I would just have to get used to. It is a very, I think that Bryce Combo or someone has been saying Daggerheart is definitely in some ways a game that the players have to have experience with. The GM especially has to be okay with improv, okay with gaming, period. And I do most definitely agree, because it's a game that was built by a game master for But some of the biggest changes, the initiative, the lack of initiative, it is still something that I think keeps me off balance.
It does.
It's really, really hard for me to 5
That's
EFI.
where I want that's where I want the safety blanket of the structure.
That's where you want the structure. I get that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Matt. You tell me your feelings instead of me telling you your feelings. You GM Daggerheart for the very first time last Saturday.
Yeah.
You seem to take to GMing it better in terms of understanding the flow of contact, the lack of initiative, the lack of like action, bonus action, reaction, or 4 action points or anything like that as a GM. Because when you were a player, you were like, what can I do? And we're all like,
most
definitely. Dude. Whereas as a GM, you really fell into that flow extremely well, I thought, last weekend.
Most definitely. I mean, it does help that there's that you've got like a tiny system, a visual system, if you want to use it to, I've got this many baubles. I'm allowed to do this. But yes, it is. And I think for me, it's just, and this will actually segue into my thoughts on some DC20 stuff. But for a GM, I think it's easier to GM for me personally, because I am used to games like Blades in the Dark or some of the other apocalypse games, where the concept of fear, fate, like here's your roll, you're under, which means you succeed, but you don't. Like, I love those kinds of games, and this is the classiest version I've seen yet. It's got more mechanics, which I like. It's got more dice rolling, but the concept is still the same. If you really succeed, then the outcome is really good. If you really fail, but there's levels, which is really, really cool. And I will say that DC20 on the flip side is, there isn't really a solid GM section at this point. There will be, I know there will be. We've played with Alan. He is a fantastic dungeon master. He really is. And so that will be a big, big part. But it is much harder to build DC20 for me as a GM. Much, much harder. It's not all there. And I had to ignore so many things because there was just so many things. And they didn't, it's not as finished. So it's not as polished. It was harder for me to kind of put that together.
I mean, that's why I haven't GM'd yet. Like we talked about doing it for patrons. I want to, but for me, lacking that is the reason I say it's an alpha, so it's just not quite ready for prime time. And that's
right. And there's no solid approved official character builder. So the math is always there for you, and I know it's easy for him. He's a math teacher. I know that it is, but the math is not easy for me, and I just have to be honest about that. It will be a totally different game when the DC20 character builder, all of the tools come out. It'll be
simplified stuff for you.
D&D is the same. I'm not saying D&D is different in that way. It is very math.
But Daggerheart is that's the Goldilocks zone that I did appreciate was get rid of the just give me the bonus, the modifier number. That's all you need. Everything else is kind of just for bragging rights. Oh yeah, I've got a strength of 20, right? Like that doesn't but that number doesn't mean anything. The modifier is the thing that's important. So I loved that, and I also loved that Daggerheart just said, hey, you're starting out, just use these numbers, okay?
Yeah.
Like, here, get started, get going. I think the dungeon coach could take a page out of the book and say, starter pack,
regions.
Yeah, or even just suggestions of like,
Yep.
if you're gonna try this, just hear your attributes, right?
Well,
can you put real quick? Can you? I don't mean to interrupt, but Daniel Grace has a great comment. It's hard to directly compare.
I agree. I was thinking about.
I just wanted to comment on that real quick, Daniel. It's just 2,000%, 2,000%, and I do want to keep reiterating that. My only pushback against that is the coach makes his living as a creator. He has an incredibly public life, way more public than, this is going to sound weird, than Matt Mercer, Critical Role, as far as building Daggerheart. Like once every couple of months, Spencer and Matt do one video about Daggerheart. The coach has to be talking about this all day, every day, nonstop. So I don't necessarily say it's unfair. I don't think it's completely unfair because the man has done what he set out to do. Every freaking YouTuber in the universe is playing DC20. 90% of the reviews that I've seen are incredibly positive, as they should be. And he himself gets on and makes content that says, here's why this game is better than, is the improvement over, is that. Yeah. So I do think it's actually fair. He's asking for that. He's selling the alpha. Yeah. We are part of an affiliate program. If you were to buy the alpha from us, if you can still do that, I don't know if you can, but if you, we sold like one copy to somebody. Thank you for 20 cents. We did, Fitz. We told you to go.
We'll be right there. We just wanted to make sure that we got a table.
Team building exercise 99.
Hey! So I think it is fair. I really do. I've thought about that too, though, many times. And I think if you're going to put your name out there and you're going to say, this is my alpha, but I want you to play it and I want you to publicly talk about it, then it's fair. So, but yes, it is an alpha versus a beta. That's that. Please continue.
Can I share, and both Fitz and I kind of had this feeling when the very first time that we ever sat down at a table and played DC20 with Alan was last March at GaryCon, and it was magnificent. We were with DM's Lair, and then you, Matt, myself, and Fitz. We were crying in our cornflakes every morning that Evan was not with us.
Oh, yeah.
No cornflakes were actually eaten, but there were tears.
Cornflakes. I need some right now.
Alan is a brilliant game designer and game master and was so much fun to play with. And the thing that we loved out of the gate, because Fitz built a cleric for that playtest and was amazed at the fact that the way that the shape that DC20 was taking at that point and the way it's continued to be touted at this point is that you don't have to be stuck in one thing. If I'm playing a cleric, I don't have to go high wisdom. If I'm playing, if I'm playing a ranger, I don't have to be high dex. Like you can really build the player or the character that you want to build. So like last week when I built a sorcerer, I didn't have to go high charisma if I didn't want to. I could have made, but there are certain classes, and Fitz discovered this with their ranger last week, of trying to build a non-agility based ranger did not work. Made the character almost useless. Same thing when they tried to purposefully nerf the monk they playtested with at Gen Con also. Yes. So that's one bit of
danger
pushback of like, you can't say that the system is there for you to build any character in any configuration of stats that you want to, because you, the player, make all of the decisions, but then none of the weapons that you can use for your class work if you don't set the expectation stat as the highest one. And so Fitz built a ranger, got to the very end, and then this really great vision that was had for guns.
What was that vision? Agility.
Chaos monkey.
Didn't want agility and wanted to basically
agility less.
Yeah, to be able to use to basically make like ranged weapons without
a person with
agility.
an Uzi.
Yeah, exactly.
No, don't even point. Just spray.
But that's exactly it. Like exactly. Like Fire Drake said it best. Like if I want to build, my leading stat as a cleric is muscle, I should be able to do that. And all of the things about, I'm gonna. So, but again, it's an alpha. Like, so we hope that is some feedback that the dungeon coach will take in. And if there are fixes that can be made. So if I want to make a highly charismatic monk who just dazzles people into submission, and then we get into the whole like one really hard line that Alan has drawn is like marshals versus casters. And there are a couple of hybrids, of course. We're all very excited about the Spellblade and otherwise. I did hear that the Scion is coming back because of the success.
He's bringing Scion back.
Benny was happy to hear that she's not killed off the board anymore. But that's the thing. If you're going to like draw these lines and be like, these are the martial classes, these are the caster classes, is there the flexibility that you're saying that there is? Remains to be seen.
I wrote in my notes about DC20.
Flurry of winks. Exactly.
What happened?
When I was talking about a highly charismatic monk. I love it.
Amazing. So I'll just say that for DC20, my notes just start out with, it's still just fun. It is fun.
Last week was fun.
Yeah,
it is all over the place right now. It is alpha. It is he is not an editor. He does not. He is a game master, game designer brain, but there's like a whole lot of stuff that needs to be tightened and polished. But damn it, it's just fun. It deserves. It really deserves the praise. And the best videos that I've seen online take that into consideration, focus on the important things, which are here are the literal game-changing aspects of this particular game. Here they are. And so far they work, the concept of them worked so incredibly well. Same with Daggerheart. Here are the things that are so beautiful and different, the character creation and so on and so forth. It's just that, man, I don't care whether it was borrowed, stolen, or whatever from Pathfinder and a billion other games. It's that action point system is magic. It's just freaking magic. It's so freaking fun. And the DC20 and the 20s that you can roll. The D20s that you can roll, God, it's so fun.
That is the Goldilocks zone for me, to borrow Evan's phrase from the 4 action points, but you can do whatever you want with them.
Yes.
Right. That's the flexibility that we're all asking for. Sort of, well, I already use this as my action and it's not a bonus action, and we don't have to deal with that, but it's the
number one dumbest thing about 5e.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, wait, I can only do this as a bonus action. I've already done my. What? That's so stupid.
Yep. Yeah. So that's what we lack in Daggerheart, and that's what we'll give the big bonus points for in DC20 is 4 action points, reign supreme over. Just do whatever you want. Everything's fun. Go kill some things,
it's like the Montessori school of TTRPGs.
It really is.
Oh my god! Did we talk about this last week? Somebody in our Discord, was it Rice Combo a couple of weeks ago, said Daggerheart is what happens, or was it Kai? Please, I know whoever said it is here, so please claim it in the comments so I can give you proper credit. But basically, Daggerheart is what happens when a bunch of theater kids create a TTRPG. DC20 is what happens when a former math teacher creates a TTRPG.
Yes,
that's it. I think it was Hecate.
I think you're thinking of the beer Tecate.
I know.
Yeah.
That is, yes. Whoever said that.
Kai did say that Hecate said it.
Hecate, yeah.
It wasn't me. I love the honesty of our friends. I love that we want to lift up the right person. Kai, Rice Combo, y'all say great things all the time too. But yes, Hecate said it, and Hecate. How do we say your name?
Hecate. I think it is Hecate.
I think it's Hecate. Yeah.
Matt has me second guessing.
I want to say Hecate, and we'll each say it one way. Matt saying Hecate, you say Hecate. I'll say Hecate.
Hecate.
That's genius.
One of my favorite.
DT says Hecate.
People.
He cat.
Yeah.
T.
He cat.
Okay.
But yeah, Hecate said that, and then I was trying desperately to come up with where Shadow Dark lived, and I was just like a Midwestern nerd in her basement in the dark. That's where Shadow Dark came. Obsessed with old school things, hangs out with 50-year-olds.
What are you talking about now?
How did we get here?
Why is that creepy now? Just like
it's not creepy. I just have no idea what you're talking about.
Sorry, Kelsey Dion. Kelsey
I
Dion is
context.
Well, just she's there. One is the art school thing. One is the math student thing.
Thank you.
And one is the just after school nerd.
One's the Midwest dungeon.
One is the Midwest dungeon.
Hashtag goth stuff.
Yeah,
I like that we're still all talking about. I don't think we've even seen Hecate in today's chat, but we know that we've now devoted 5 minutes and dozens of comments to the pronunciation of your name.
Yes. Sorry, Hecate. I know it's Hecate though. If it's the Greek.
Vampire of Masquerade is the scene kids' response to D&D. I cannot wait to play Vampire at Gen Con.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Are we gonna get gothed up? I'm gonna go full like death, like Swedish black metal.
I'm gonna Sharpie this shit.
Yeah. Oh wow!
Please don't.
I won't.
Let's just get tattoos. Let's get
just
full
okay.
Raccoon tattoos.
You never have to ask me.
Let's get our eyelids removed surgically. Are you guys ready to suck some blood?
I think I'm going to come as a Twilight vampire. We killed Matt and just be sparkling head to toe. I'm just gonna just put highlighter all over my entire body, so you could be
wonderful.
like, "Is that shit sparkling?"
I love it.
Cool, dude.
I'm very excited about Evan's. I'm very excited about Evan's announcement and talk, but I do want to have like a kind of a final takeaway in my. This is going to be that very stereotypical YouTube bummer of an answer. It depends on what you like, but it really depends on what you like. It really, depends. It really depends on what you like. And luckily for both Daggerheart and DC20, I like them both. And my favorite thing has been
Bummer.
Bummer.
I just had to do that. I don't really need it.
My favorite thing has been to like now be able to take a system and build the world that I want to build with my friends, and then apply, start with the world, a world building first rather than system first, which was not a freaking possibility, really. 2 years ago, not really a These games are allowing that to happen. Even Shadow Dark are allowing that to happen in such a classy way, and the fact that they will only get better with millions of dollars and lots of support and our input. I will choose the system based on the game I want to play that day, that week, right? I will jump. And also I want to say that I had the easiest time converting a Kelsey Dion 5e adventure into Daggerheart using ChatGPT. Even I fed her the most recent Daggerheart PDF. She knew the SRD, and I said, okay, so now I need to come up with a drow. Can you convert them? Boom. It was so easy.
Wow. And cool.
So that is going to be, but we're not giving up on 5e, 5.5 or 6. D&D will always be a part of our lives, but these games have forever changed the way I want to run those games. I will always want to homebrew 5e now because I will miss those elements of these games, the connections of Daggerheart, the concept of making combat easier in DC20.
All right, Matt, we do have a judgment of your final parting thoughts. So I will, I guess, now have to welcome this for myself and Evan as we give ours, but can't RIP, get it? Cantrip, says, you play it safe, but what you said makes sense, I have to admit.
Oh, bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
I feel like that is a very
I'm playing it very
Balance.
safe.
Yeah.
But
Are
I
you
love them.
Are you asking for some spicy?
Yeah, you are. I'm hearing. I want
opinions?
to. We'll share
Give
some
me the
spice.
spice.
I'll put
Go,
some
AK.
spice on it.
Let's get spicy.
I'll put
Get
some spice
spicy.
on it.
Get
I'll
spicy.
put some spice. Oh man! For whoever is new here, welcome. We're always like this. Wait till you see us with Fitz. It's even better. My hot takeaway is yes, and to absolutely everything Matt said. I cannot argue with any of that. My preference, I will go ahead and go on record on the books and say, I like Daggerheart more. It is more for me. I don't feel as an imp, my biggest concern going into playing Daggerheart was what it was going to feel like as an impulse gremlin wanting to move all the time. And it was not as bad as I thought it was going to be, partially because I play with people that I love and trust. And so I know that we're always kind of like checking and balancing each other. As a GM, I have had little to no desire, and I know this will change, but I've had little to no desire to GM DC20 because of all the math, because we're still waiting for some of the materials and things like that. It breaks my brain before I even touch it. So I am very willing to be wrong whenever I say things, and I'm very willing to be corrected later. So once we actually get into beta and the final release, I may feel completely differently. But as of today, what is it? June 21st, 2024, I will go on record and say, if I had to pick, my pick is Daggerheart, both as a GM and as a player, for all of the things that we said on the stream. That said, especially when somebody who is great at GMing DC20 offers to, like Matthew Bivens, like Alan Bjorkgren, like our friend Glenn, who is gonna GM a little bit of DC20 for us and for this channel in July.
And for Alzheimer's.
Yep. I will happily play just about anything at this point, except for maybe Pathfinder. We thought about that once and it broke my brain. I'm not saying never. I'm saying it's a heavier lift. Yes.
Well, I mean, what you're saying is interesting. Next week, we're going to get together as friends. We're going to have us time. Pocket Dimension going to gather. We call it Castle Birthday. It's because we're celebrating Evan's birthday. And we're going to be playing games pretty much nonstop for 4 or 5 days. And world build. I could easily see us bringing a Daggerheart GM'd game to the table. I cannot see us doing DC20 at this point.
Correct.
Simply because of the work involved.
Correct.
Simply because of the extra work. So your point is very clear, but with the understanding that will change 100% as soon as the money starts flowing, everybody rolling, Alan get down to the editing
stage. Nope. So I know. Whoa, not ultra spicy, but opinionated is really what I was going for.
And true,
more so than spicy. I don't
true
know that
opinions.
we'll get spicy. I think when both of the. How about this? We'll go ahead and make a promise to everybody watching for the future. When both are in full release, we will. And what I would love to do on this channel is like start to build characters across multiple systems, so I can see. And we did that a little bit. We did port our original DC20 characters into 5e and died at the hands of the Mutants of Rage. Might I remind everybody? I would love to do more stuff like that, where we really can get like as close to an apples to apples comparison as possible, and then we'll be some spicy ass mofos. Okay.
Oh, okay. Here's my spicy take. The real winner, Tales of the Valiant.
Okay, Jan.
Wow. Okay.
JK,
Wonderful.
We've only had one opportunity to play Tales of the Valiant. We're very much looking forward to playing some at Gen Con, I believe.
With Kai.
Absolutely.
With Kai.
Yes.
With Kai. Oh, yeah. No, very much looking forward to that. I don't really have anything, I've already kind of said my piece. I want the Goldilocks. I want to take from both. I will say that there's something infused in Daggerheart currently, just in the way it feels like they've built more than a game system. It's like a universe, right? There's and there's something to that. They even in the rule book they seem like they go the extra step to tell you about like the gods of this world. Like it's like it's more of a Forgotten Realms, like it's a defined place, right? As opposed to a system where you can put it wherever you want. You can make up your own stuff. But regardless, it feels like they've just put some Disney magic into it. It's the best analogy I have, you know?
That's so
where
true.
it's like
bright and shiny. Yeah.
Yeah, it's bright, it's shiny, and it just has like an emotional quality to it that I think really drew me to it. But I'm still looking for that. I'm still looking for that Goldilocks zone. Having said all that, good Lord, imagine what Alan's going to do with 1.6 plus million dollars.
And climbing. We got 2 more weeks. It's going to hit 2. Come on.
I mean, it's
gonna.
And hallelujah that there's a world where, and you know, he won the Kickstarter lottery. Critical Role and Darrington Press won the lottery of being Critical Role and just having a huge fan base and therefore the resources to make their game. What a cool world that we live in, where that and Shadow Dark and all of these things get the kind of support that they get and can exist.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen when Gary Gygax was inventing D&D, right? Like he was just literally in his basement, and it was just a slog, I'm sure, to get anyone to care. But it's different now, and these people really do seem like this generation's Gary Gygax. Like they're trying to you're trying to build something not just better, but something different, something new, and it's just exciting. I can't wait to see what Alan does. I can't wait to see what Darrington does.
And I'm throwing MCDM in there. I'm throwing Monty Cook.
When the hell's that coming out?
It's starting to trickle, but it's slower going right now, I think. But I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
Sweet ass time.
I cannot wait to play Cipher system with y'all in Gods of Appalachia or something.
We've been talking about that since last
since Gen Con.
Yeah.
I know.
What a time to be alive, where we have all of these we are spoiled for choices, and I will not apologize for it.
So good.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, we've got 3 minutes left here.
Yeah. We'll take a little extra time for you.
Evan, on behalf of Evan and Fitz.
Yes.
Big
I'm
fun
just
week.
merely a representative.
Tell us your business.
I'm going to tell you I'm going to share the new news. So if you are in our Discord, then you probably already know we released the first trailer for The Adventures of Bud and Herb this Monday, right? It was on Monday, wasn't it? So if you're not in our Discord, please go in there. You can find it, or since you're here on YouTube, you can just stay here and watch it.
Why not?
But go into our Discord anyway and just come hang out. So we're very excited about that. But today, in fact, right now, we're about to drop the character art for Bud, the official character art created by the illustrious Bridget Connell. If you're not familiar with her work, we will have links to her Instagram, through which you can go find her website and stuff too. But a lot of her work is just on her Instagram. She is an artist for Dark Horse Comics. She draws a lot of stuff in the Mike Mignola verse. Lady Baltimore is one of her titles. She's just ridiculously talented. I met her a couple of years ago at Heroes Con, and she's just the nicest person. And so at the time I was kind of learning a little bit about drawing comics myself. And so I drew some pages and I brought them over to her to kind of take a look at. And she was so nice, spent some time with me and gave me some great constructive criticism. All that's to say is, when I thought about doing character art, you know, when Fitz and I were talking about, okay, how are we going to do character art for these two guys? I thought about doing it myself for about 2 seconds. I said, no, thanks. And I just randomly, out of the blue, I just reached out to Bridget. I said, I don't know, maybe she has time for this. Heroes Con was coming up, so I figured it was a long shot at best. Long story short, the stars aligned, and now it's here. So please, if you're a Patreon member, you're going to get this today, right now.
Well,
Allison's
Feywild and higher, but yes.
Yes, if you're Feywild patron or higher, you're going to see Bud today, and then we will release it to the rest of the world later on. But please, if you're not already, go check out
Who is
Patron.
Bud, by the way? For those who have not seen the video.
Oh, sure. What am I talking about? What is the
what are you
Adventures of Bud and
talking
Herb?
Yeah.
So the Adventures of Bud and Herb is gosh, how this could get lengthy. So I'll try my best to make it succinct.
Elevator pitch. Yeah.
The elevator pitch is the Adventures of Bud and Herb is one part. What's our elevator pitch? It's one part audio drama.
Yes.
One part actual play.
Yes.
2 parts cryptid hunting besties. And it's Fitz and I had 2 characters that we created and played in one shots. Bud, a deep gnome, Herb, a turtle folk barbarian. And they're just both so bigger than life. We just thought one day, like, what if these guys had a show together? So we've been world building and working on this for some time now.
So long.
With the idea and it's changed. This is why it's taken so long. It's changed over time, but we finally, once we realized what the show really was, it's been, we've been gunning for that ever since. Now it's coming out in July. And so the first half of the season is an audio play. It's like written-ish, semi-written, produced, acted, sound designed, all of this stuff with all of our family of friends and performing. And then the second half is going to be a game. And we're doing it in D&D because our game master is the illustrious Alejandro Tay. And we thought about maybe, DC20 or Daggerheart, some of these new systems as a potential vehicle for it too. But Tay also just had a baby recently. We figured let's go with what he knows. So that's 5e. So we're going to do 5e. It's going to be a game of D&D. So anything could happen on the back half of this season. TPK, it's possible. We're hoping not.
We'll try our best
because we have seasons 2 and 3 already planned. So
what if Bud and Herb die?
It can happen. It
what
could
if
absolutely
I
happen.
kill them?
That's what's so beautiful.
That would be shocking.
I'm not gonna do that.
I actually have never heard of this concept before. I hope
it's all credit to
the
Fitz.
First. I hope that it is the first of its kind, because there are some beautiful, radio plays out there in the world, and this is not like ADHD 20 or this live stream, y'all. Whereas Allison and I have our brains can handle speak, record, put it out. This is very, very artistically crafted and thought out. So this is very different for our channel. We've been super psyched about it. But yeah, what if they die? I mean, that is an amazing thing that the actual play is part of the milieu, and it's just going to be a big ass question
Then
mark.
next season will be Walking Dead, the Bud and Herb.
That's right. We'll be fully undead. Well, a great point about that is Fitz and I. First of all, like I said, 100% credit to Fitz for this concept. We were planning on writing this whole season, and then she came and said, "Look, what if we did this?" And she broke my brain. Secondly, we have seasons 2 and 3 already planned, right? And but a lot of that could change based on what happens in this game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exciting for us. And just to give you guys a little bit more of a teaser, the idea here, the concept, the setup is Bud and Herb are besties. They're cryptid hunters. They're retired adventurers who settled in a little, kind of seaside, quaint village, and are living their best life when they discover there is a local cryptid legend that they decide to investigate. So they are literally making it's a podcast within a podcast where they're making their own show. They are the hosts of their own Fungcast because it's using mushroom technology. And that's the setup. And then, they think they're just going to investigate a cryptid, and all hell breaks loose. You have to listen to find out. July 29th. Put it on your calendar.
Yes.
The comments for this have been the cryptids are the friends we made along the way. Yes, exactly. Digital Twisted wants to know which dispensary will be sponsoring.
That was an accident,
can I throw y'all under
Let's-
the bus and say that Evan and Fitz did not realize when they titled it The Adventures of Bud and Herb what it sounded like, which just the pureness of that.
I know.
We love y'all even more.
I'm genuinely hoping that we are going to get all kinds of stoner fans who just click on it just because of the name, and like I came for the name and I stayed for the adventure.
But if you're a stoner, you're gonna love it because it's out there and
ripped.
I am absolutely taking a gummy and listening to it.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. It is very. It's stoner friendly for sure. It's super weird. Fits in our motto is 10% weirder. Like anytime we have an idea, let's make it 10% weirder.
Yep.
So if you like weird stuff, if you like shows like like Critical Role, Midst, Worlds Beyond
Magic
Number.
Tavern.
You're all hired for describing this podcast. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Perfect. That is exactly it. And I love you so much for coming up with that.
Such a whimsy.
Oh man, toss a penny to your Stitcher.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Inspiration for you. Come
Inspiration
on.
for
amazing.
That's like
definitely
Dungeons and
tell
Daddies.
Fitz about that.
Didn't realize that they sounded like a sex thing. How do you not hear Dungeons and Daddies and think that's a sex thing? But you know.
Oh right, yeah. Haiti.
Don't touch my trash panda says it's giving fantasy bodkin vibes.
Fantasy bodkin. Is that like Teddy Ruxpin?
Sure.
Fantasy Teddy Ruxpin.
I haven't seen bodkin yet.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
So, anyways, guys, we're just
excited.
super excited to share it with you. Please go check out Bud's the amazing art by Bridget Connell. We'll be releasing herbs, and then there's poster art and all kinds of goodies to come back, behind the scenes stuff. So be sure become a patron and get early access to all that junk, as well as early access to episodes and everything.
Tell you, and there was The Adventures of Bud and Herb Chris holiday special.
Mm-hmm.
There was, yeah.
So how about this? I'll tell you what. We'll put up. We'll start the Bud and Herb playlist here on YouTube, so people can find it and the trailer very easily. So look for that later today. Once we get off this stream, I'll go make that for us. Because it's going to be, now I do need to warn everybody. I am the Adventures of Bud and Herb's #1 fan. You cannot have it. I have already claimed it. I claimed it the day that Evan and Fitz hatched the idea. Fitz is ADHD 20's #1 fan, so like it's only fair. But the rest of you can be like a close second. I'm very excited about my favorite podcast dropping. It's so great. So
game changing.
We're excited. And yes, Pete Bud's art is already up on Patreon. So those of you in those tiers, you can already see it.
Oh, snap.
And then speaking of giveaways.
Yeah. So we hit 1,000 subscribers last week. And so we're doing a fun little, we're going to do a year, whatever you want, your choice. You either get a year of Beacon or a comparable gift certificate to shop.critroll, because when we hatched this idea, it was in the middle of all of our Daggerheart coverage.
Mm-hmm.
What is Beacon then, for those of you who don't know?
Am I telling them about this?
Sure.
It's the new on-demand website, All Things Extraordinary from the Critical Role family. So you get things like shortened versions of all of their shows. You get first access. So like the people on Beacon already have. Last night they dropped the Live at the Greek Theater live show. Nice. They already have access. So it's their new kind of subscription model where you get all their fun goodies. And I haven't joined it yet myself. I need to.
Wow. I even joined it, I think.
Wow. So then why aren't you telling us about it?
Why am I not winning this? I don't know. It doesn't mean I've had time to go listen to it, but I had to join it.
So what we did is as I mentioned at the top of the show, we dropped everybody. There was a way to get a bonus entry. Plus, if you're in our Discord, and I removed all the bots and I removed us. And so I'm now going to have Matt roll us a D 243.
I am using, by the way, the best digital dice thing in the universe. It is called Dice by PCalc. And if you don't own it on any iPhone, any watch, anything, widgets, if you do not own Dice by PCalc,
PCalc sounds like a nerdcore rap handle.
Because that's his developer. He created a calculator first. And then he's also a dice guy, so freaking gorgeous. Dice guy. So
roll
go
that
peek
beautiful
out,
beam
go
footage.
peek out, go peek out, go peek out, go.
Oh.
And the number is
So excited. for this.
73.
Oh, could have been
73.
69.
I love
It
this
isn't me.
because
73.
it's not you,
It isn't
but
me.
it is somebody that came to us through Daggerheart coverage, which does make me
No.
love this. The winner, number 73, is P Jukebox. You have won either Beacon or a comparable shop.critroll.com gift certificate from us, the Hottie Hive, to you and all of our friends out here on the World Wide Web. I will DM you. We will get all of that sorted out with you.
Oh,
but congratulations.
man.
I wonder if
Yeah.
P Jukebox knows P Calc.
Probably best friends.
I'm
Yeah.
just joking.
I'm so happy.
Congratulations. I am too. That is perfect.
Slide into our Discord. The
Yeah.
easiest way in there, if you go to our Patreon on our About tier, there's a link straight in there and you can pop in. We talk about lots and lots of things like Daggerheart, like DC20, and like how you shouldn't say the words
Dark.
unsweet tea. We also
We
argue
talk
about
about
aioli.
everything.
So come on in. We're weird. And we want you there.
All those things. Yeah. And more. So much more.
Well, we will TBD on if we'll be live next week, because this time next week we will be together live in person.
Right.
So there's no way we would turn a camera on ourselves and come.
Because we'll be in PJs eating Doritos and Oreos playing TTRPGs. If we can tear ourselves away from the tabletop.
That's the point.
Maybe we're just going to turn the camera on while we play something.
Maybe we're going to live stream the whole weekend. The camera goes
Oh.
on at 6 o'clock Wednesday and it doesn't go off till Sunday morning.
Challenge
We're going to
wow.
live in a
accepted.
fishbowl. It's going to be
Yeah.
great. So
CastleCon.
Castle.
Yeah. I did see GM Rice Combo did say earlier that this is how Pocket Dimension Con gets started, is that the four of us get together and suddenly everybody shows up. So,
true.
Man.
Evan,
Okay.
I wasn't supposed
I'll be-
to put your address in the
You just doxed me.
money.
Okay, cool.
Diggity docks and it.
Hey, just when you show up, just don't. We're getting our house painted, so just don't touch the walls. It might still be wet.
I was gonna lick them.
Ooh.
Don't recommend it unless you like acrylic paint in your mouth.
You don't know what I like.
Damn.
I don't know
Actually,
your
we do.
life.
We
I'm
do,
a
and that's why it's gonna
freak.
be fun.
Yeah, 10% extra fun. All right, you guys. Well, love you too. Love you, Fitzy. Love
Yeah.
everybody watching.
Congratulations, P.
Jukebox, congrats to you.
Yeah.
And thanks for hanging here with us. We love
Ooh,
everybody.
Thanks for helping us to
Okay.
1,000 and plus, and we just feel so validated, and so thank you, really,
Yeah, grateful.
truly, super
Yeah.
awesome.
My hearts aren't working anymore, but just
Nope.
imagine them.
Womp
Yeah, just
womp.
pretend.
I have hearts for all.
All
All right, except for now, it's
So
hard.
who's gonna roll the?
I was about to say it's hard to roll in outro. All right, you guys. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.